So that works.
I have no idea what I did last time.
That one could enter in that area if you rotate it.
Which one? Ping again. This one? Ah.
Which one? Yes, Cubic.
This one.
Not sure how exactly it will go in.
No, it won't. Fuck.
Maybe something like that.
Yep.
Then this? Oh no, definitely not.
Did you move something?
No.
Okay. Oh, we have
The
other
others
pieces
two
as
are
well.
done. The other two are done.
This
I'm
one
not
is
sure.
definitely done.
We're not sure about the bottom left.
Okay.
There's nothing that fits in this piece here. Maybe it doesn't go there. Okay, should we not move any pieces of the top bottom left? I guess yes, right?
That would be the plan, yes.
Okay. Let me think.
Can't you just finish this one? I'm just going to move some bits, Zero.
I don't think we can finish it the way it is set at this very moment.
Never mind, I missed that little block there.
And there's nothing that will go there.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a little hint there that at least a couple of pieces in that one might be a bit wrong. Before you move anything though, I'll say this, that 6 pieces is correct.
Which is the 6 pieces?
There are 6 correctly placed pieces in this one. When I think this one
Out
was
of
there.
9? Okay.
Yes. Funny that.
When this was there, there were
Yes,
6.
I believe that one, it was there. I'm not sure.
Are
This
they
one
now
was,
7 maybe?
there are
If I
now
move the
6 correct pieces placed.
Okay. 6. That's good.
No, I mean, there are now 6 correct pieces placed. There are now 6 correct pieces placed.
Okay. So this is not even the correct place. By the way, the bottom one is disappearing.
Yes. Some sabotaging that one. That's not me.
It's not you?
No, that was me. I was the
I-
moron. I deleted the
I'm not-
piece.
I'm not touching a goddamn thing. Wait, you deleted a piece?
Yeah, I deleted the piece. I didn't want to delete a piece.
But I guess you deleted 2 pieces there?
Yeah, I
Or-
think I deleted 2 pieces there.
Okay.
And
So 1G. So 9. And we have 6 out of 9 set correctly. Okay. That's a good start.
Considering I think you started the game with like 11 correct pieces? No, it's not.
Well,
The top one?
yeah, on the top left one. First and foremost, we need to remove some pieces and use some larger blocks, because right now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, and as far as I see, there's a lot of room for at least 2 more.
Okay, we can totally do that. Just a second. Let me think how to do it correctly.
There are now 5 correct pieces in place.
Well,
Okay. Okay, I get the idea.
There are now 6 correct pieces in place.
Okay, good. That's good. No, this is not cannot be here.
I could also lock that piece for you guys if you would prefer that.
yes, please.
I think these are the 6 correct ones. No. No, it cannot possibly be. It actually can. We put two on top of each other.
Yeah, you can add it seems.
No, no.
Yeah,
Miles
we're
is right.
going
We
back.
need to. Yeah, we need to use more here. Do you want to? Yeah, bigger pieces.
Yeah, because
So if this is here,
yeah,
then
and
something
this is
needs
here.
to go in this.
But why are you working
Oh,
out
part.
of? Why do you think you need 9 pieces on that one?
Because you wrote 9 on top.
No,
of it?
I write
haven't written
that's my
anything.
color. I wrote 9, but I was under the assumption. I went under the assumption that that's
Oh.
a 9 piece key.
Okay.
All I said was this, or rather, had shouted that the bottom left one would be the one with the most pieces. I have not commented on the amount of pieces on the 2 upper ones.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
Only that the bottom left one will have the most pieces towards the end.
Okay, we don't have anything that to put here. Fucking shit.
Funny, I can see a lot of pieces.
I mean, after that, like, okay, you put here this one. So what do you put here then? So what do you put here now? Like,
There's also
unless,
a huge hint. I already told you that this piece is not in the right place.
yeah, I know.
Like,
But then
if
what do
you're
we put here?
if you're trying to use this as a solution, it just won't work. This piece is not neither there nor there. Like, you're trying to fit a piece of the puzzle I've told you isn't in either of those 2 spots.
Yeah, I think then this one is not there as well. That's correct. Nope.
Nope.
This one.
That one fits there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
This
thinking.
one?
Wait, that might work. And a square and that.
No. Not enough space. Nope. Not that.
There are now 8 pieces correct in the puzzle.
We're closer.
Out of 10. So which are the 2 that are not correct?
Are you certain there 10?
Out of the 10 that we've placed.
Yeah, there's 2 not correct, and that would leave room for what? For 2 or 3.
Oh, 2 are not correct, so we need to figure out which are not correct. And maybe this piece here. Who knows? What if we put this here and remove this? No, there is no such piece here. I'm fairly certain this one is correct, at least at the moment.
I'm also fairly certain that that one and this one are correct. And I'm decently certain this one is correct as well. Considering these were the last two we added and they seem to be correct.
Well, there is no other piece that will fit there anyway, so we don't have much choice for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves this one, which is pretty shit to move. I don't think we can replace it. And the two here.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do?
Thinking.
Oh, I want some cake.
Mm-hmm.
What if the bottom right is not correct? Like these two pieces or something like that. It's a possibility.
It is.
Because this one is pretty set. This one set as well.
The
This
problem
is
with that
pretty obvious.
the problem with that assumption is right now we have 10 pieces, 2 of them are wrong, okay? So if we
Yes,
think this one and this ones are wrong, that means definitely this one is wrong, and that's not the case.
true.
Which
You're
makes
correct.
this also correct, because if this one is correct here, there is nothing else that fits here.
Yes. So basically, this part is wrong. Then.
Yeah, these two I think are the ones that are wrong, because otherwise these ones don't fit in any way.
Yeah, I think the whole right part is like pretty much nothing else can fit in.
And this is the correct one.
But that means we'll have to use an item from the
not
other
that one.
puzzle.
Well, we don't have any green one?
Here, we have only one green one.
Where?
It's on the
It's out
bottom
there.
left. I don't think that one is correct.
No, yeah,
Instead,
it is. This
Is it?
actually makes sense. Yeah, this actually makes sense here. Look, like if we do this, this is the puzzle solved, and it's at how many pieces? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces.
As you try
Ewan,
to
is this
put
the
in,
correct?
as you try to put in the large rectangular shape, you realize that you're trying to fit it over a part of the puzzle that's already slotted in.
Ah,
Yes. And there is nothing that will fit in the rest of the space.
so those two aren't correct
Okay.
either.
Yes.
So we can place back this one, at least for now. I don't know who plays those puzzles, but you're a magician.
I was about to. Yeah, I did it, but someone beat me to the corner one. Did the lock unlock, or we don't know if the lock unlocked?
We don't know if the locked.
You hear nothing in the same sense that you heard nothing from the bottom one. It just seems to fit in place.
Let's start on the top one then. Maybe let's hope this was the correct order. Okay, this will be tricky. It's already wrong, I think.
Mhm.
Yes.
But it's a place to start from.
I think
Exactly.
one of these maybe fits in here. Have a feeling, or
You
one of
put
these.
all of them, Zuriel, Lucian, whatever. You can put all of them there, and any overlapping ones you can count and see if the total number of tiles equals to the number that should be covered. If they match,
Yeah.
it means you need to come around.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I mean, the total number will always match, but at least we can
No,
see what's
it
wrong.
doesn't. You have two.
It does. I mean, look, you have n spaces to fill with n number of small rectangles. It
You
will
have
always
no other piece,
match.
and you put all your pieces without overlapping.
There's
you
actually someone might have deleted a piece.
No. It's this is exactly the number of pieces we have.
Yes, this
There
is
are
exactly
three
not-
overlapping here.
Oh, no.
I mean, this doesn't prove that this is the correct order. Because
You're right.
to
You're
begin
right.
with, yeah,
We have the correct number of elements.
we haven't deleted anything. That's the only thing we prove. But I think that don't move anything. I think this will be very
Guys, let's you're trying to approach this from a mathematical point of view. Let's try to approach this from intuitive, like I don't know, detective, help me out with the words here, point of view. Like, let's recap what we know. We know that this is an 8 lock key, and we're fairly certain that this one is correct. We know that this one has two positions in lock in place, and it had 8 slots correct. With the two locked pieces and the information that we had that all 8 of them were correct, we reached the 11. This only means that the lower left one, the number of pieces has to be higher than 11. At this point in time, there are 14 here.
Where are 14? Which one
Here,
has 14?
this one has 14 right now.
Okay, so that's pretty much good. Right?
Yeah, exactly, because the X being the number of lock keys, it has to be higher than 11, which is this one so far. So basically, this one has to have less than 14, I'm guessing, would be the correct answer, right?
We have 10 at the moment.
It has less than 14,
Okay.
as we are.
This is the most tricky piece. We have to figure out how to fill its holes, and we're done with the puzzle. Let's put it at the edge because it will. Then we can use like this one here to fill.
No, leave it where it was. Leave that where it was.
Not the corner one here. No.
Give me a second. Don't.
Go ahead.
I just had a
Epiphany.
Okay, I'm done.
Now, can the rest of us try?
Yes, of course. I mean, it's all about this piece here.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily, because it's not the only one that doesn't fit neatly.
No, I mean it has the most edges you have to
Consider, yeah.
fit in place. And because we have a limited number of edgy things.
God damn it. Okay. Now they snapped into place.
Cannot help you now.
Who cannot help us now?
Our God.
Okay. That was out of character.
He cannot help you in character either. See, I'll be honest in here and say that these are not the correct pieces for the puzzle from what I know. I'm just literally sitting here curious thinking, but there is a chance that this might actually be solvable with those pieces, so I should shut up. So, I mean, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just literally going to try to see if I can solve it as well.
Okay. That's a good point, by the way.
That's reassuring.
Yeah. But let's try to solve it actually with these pieces. Maybe then we'll, I don't know, maybe then we will resort to violence.
This piece is crap.
Yes, that
I
piece is
told you.
literally- I think that piece is going to be what ruins the puzzle for you. Or at least on this part.
How many edges do we have? I think we should use one of these as edge. Otherwise, we are screwed. To fill in how some of the edges of this fucker. But in a way, not creating more edges. And I do have. I think I have an idea. I'm not sure though. And maybe we should just rework the bottom one so that we get rid of this fucker.
That's also an option. But we already used like 2 of them here. 3.
Yeah. Maybe 3. Maybe we should have used all 4. Although this here like snapped pretty well. I mean, it's probably solvable in other ways, but let's do our best first on the top one. Almost.
You are one misaligned dot away.
If you can bend the rules a little bit.
Don't cheat out.
No, I mean, bend this piece to go over here.
If only
Like
you could superheat metal and bend it to your will.
Check your spellbook, guys.
Maybe we can borrow this piece and rework the bottom one.
Before you do that, do a screenshot of it.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
I think this, if you wanted to take a screenshot, I think this is a more fitting screenshot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see anything.
No, because this is like literally fuck you piece, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Because if this would be here,
Yes.
If you had a barbarian in the party, he would be like, Hulk smash tiny piece into tiny hole.
it's insane how close we are to it.
Yeah, we can be like miles away at the moment.
Oh yeah, it feels close, but it could be just miles.
Yeah, we might have to rework all the other puzzles.
No, all of the other, no. I'm pretty sure this one and this one are set in stone.
I hope so.
You're so far away.
I'm
You should
not-
have prepared Valaki for tonight.
I'm not even sure this one is correct here.
Well, with this
It's
one
not-
here and this one here, there's not many other options you can fit.
Yes, considering that
Plus,
Ivan cheated and told us that the rest were also like there were many
8.
others that were in place.
Exactly. Like as long as you
Like,
consider
we
that there are
have-
8 in place, then the only 2 left are just 2 possibilities.
We have a lot of the original ones in place that like we have 6 of the ones that were in place back then.
Mm-hmm.
But still, we might
6?
have the wrong one. Like
I
even
can only
one can
count
be
4.
like this one, this one,
Oh yeah.
this one here, and the 2 that he marked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see it now.
But we might be wrong for one of them, and that can screw up the whole thing.
In that case, maybe this one, yeah, that way. But no.
Now we're creating more edges. Okay. You don't have. Actually, this might work. No, it won't work. Close enough.
You moved that one out of the map.
No, I didn't.
Not you.
No, I mean like it wasn't off the map.
No, there's no way you can fit those squares. Still one off.
But where the hell is that fine? Oh, never mind.
I was trying to cheat, but I couldn't move. You still have overlap here. So it's not. No need to move the one. Okay.
A little flutter effect occurs over one particular part of the upper left puzzle.
Okay, that's good. Guys, let's show it.
And then it just like shapes into like a sparkly bat that suddenly goes like and then flies off.
Interesting that it's open on the top.
Yeah, but it's only the base is by 2, so it's a square.
But the question is, does it have more on top because it's not closed? It can be this one here.
It could be to some extent one like this as well.
No, because that's
Oh no, that's
base of
3, base 3 of base of 3. True.
Okay. Who is going to give it the next try? I can go if no one wants.
Let's try a square here and go from there.
Are you going?
Okay. I can see that work.
You don't have anything for here.
Yeah.
Wait a second. If we remove this one and we turn this one to fit that way, come on, it should be this way, right?
Overlap.
Yeah, we need to remove this one, and there's nothing to go instead of it.
Yes.
So it's not that. We can be pretty sure of that at least. This far, Yuan has not, on the other puzzles, he has not used red line on dots that are not covered by the piece. So let's assume this is the correct piece.
Yellow is rather, red is
Strut.
probably not.
Okay.
They are color coded for your convenience.
Close, but not.
Oh, you can borrow one piece from bottom, and we can rework bottom. But bottom is not very complex as well.
I
Do you
think
want me to get one?
I think the easy way for me to say it as like a game master here is that in all likelihood there might be different solutions, but uh, there's also the realistic possibility that there's only one solution.
Okay.
And
So
if there's one solution, you're currently wrong.
okay. Assuming that the pieces you locked are based on the solution you're looking at, this might lock us out of other solutions anyway. So even if they exist, so let's
You should
just
be confident about the yellow ones. Whether or not
okay.
you're cool about the red ones is entirely up to you guys.
What about the blue ones?
That is not me.
That's menace.
What?
Seriously?
What did I do?
Maris, is that you?
What, this? The
Yeah.
cyan? Yeah, that's me.
I thought it's locked in place. Jesus Christ, this might not be even
He's locked in place,
correct.
but I locked it in place. The drawing is menace.
The drawing is mine, yeah.
Okay. So it's locked in place. Okay.
I lock pieces, I just remove your ability to move the pieces. Nothing
Yeah, I
else.
just figured that out.
There was a reason why I moved that thing.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Allow me to erase then.
That's what I was trying.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
let's
think you can
rework
erase
bottom
my
left.
text.
Let's rework bottom left because Yuan said that we don't have the correct pieces for the top left. Should I volunteer?
Should you volunteer?
I don't know. I mean, I really want to get rid of the blue one top. That's fucking us over. This one.
Why is there an R on the map?
Because it's copyrighted.
It wasn't there before.
That's your color, but I'm guessing
I'm
that
not
Yuan is
writing
speaking with
that.
you. Okay, I'm gonna start removing the pieces from the bottom one. Which piece do you guys want to? Is this the piece you want to get rid of top? Actually, do we know? We don't know which piece is not correct for the top one.
Tom, what are you studying?
Nothing.
Roll for
He's
damage.
stabbing someone.
You have 7 hit points.
Even a sneeze will get me down.
Or a stab for 9 damage. Would you consider yourself surprised that you just stabbed yourself in your foot?
Yeah.
You take 23 points of piercing damage and you fall unconscious. Kidding. This piece seems like a very poor strategy to me, by the way.
No, it's Zuriel. He waits for somebody to cut it down, I think.
Well, what do you want me to do? Do you want to bring it back up? It's fine here. It looks good.
Well, you know there has to be at least 12 pieces in this particular part, if the upper right one is correct. You also know one piece is probably locked in place.
This, yes. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I just said yes.
But we still need to figure out which pieces. No, this is not good.
On the bright side for you, Radar is actually rolling pretty fucking good.
Nice.
On the negative side, Strahd just crit.
Not so nice.
Shame, you're about to get another hint. Okay, if you want,
Not moving
can-
anything? Go ahead.
I can give you a hint on one of the two puzzles on how many correct you have at the moment.
Okay. I would take this as a hint that the top right is correct.
No, done with that, but it seems like you're confused about the two left ones.
Okay, guys, do we want the bottom left? Because the top right doesn't really have a lot of pieces.
Sure. Let's take the bottom left.
On the bottom left, you have 2 correct pieces. Spoiler. One of them is the one that rather.
It's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to the drawing board. I suggest we just remove everything except this one. Maybe. What do you guys want? Do you say okay?
Sure.
Remove whatever
Just-
is there. Try to make the top one, top left one, complete, and then see what's left if we can arrange it to that.
Yeah, keep it like that, man, so that we can remember which pieces we actually should not put in.
You want to get the last hint here, or do you not? Do you want to stay without for a while?
I will leave it to the rest to decide.
I say yes, if there's any available.
Good that radar is rolling
Cubic, Benjamin.
20 plus.
Yeah. Let's
Yep.
go with the rest.
In this one, you currently have 3 correct pieces.
Okay, good.
And for that matter, all 3 of those are correct.
That's good. Manis, can you draw so that we don't move them? And I will start moving. So this one is not correct. We know that this one was the first, like all the rest that we have put were not correct. If those 3 were correct, this should not move. I guess you're removing the drawing.
Could just ask me to lock the P. Oh, never mind.
Ah, you can actually lock them. That would have been easier. Okay, I will start if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, so question is, do we use this one or this one here? The difference being we can maybe use one of the big ones to fit in the hole.
I tried that. It just leads to screaming.
Okay, I guess this is not the correct one. We can then not use this. Should we go with this or get Yuan's help with the screaming?
I
Was not an offer for help, by the way.
Okay. I mean, it was just scream, so let's assume that it's fine. This cannot be here. Actually, we have a long one on top. We can use.
Not long enough.
why not? I mean, you can put this one and then something else. Plus, so far looks good. Could be that one.
Oh, yeah, we don't have a three pieces. So it's not that one.
We need to have over 11 pieces anyway.
Yeah.
How many do we have now?
12.
Yeah.
Oh, we're fine then.
But it depends on how many pieces there's left for the other one. It has to be over the amount of pieces in this one as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be 12.
So not correct.
Not. Oh fuck! We
No.
don't have another green.
No. Zuri is right. This one's up there. It's one of the upper ones from here.
Are you sure?
If we use this one down here, we make this one having the upper left one will have the most pieces.
How many are?
Know what I'm saying? Because basically this one has to use the smaller and more numerous pieces, and this one is going to use the larger and less with a lower number of pieces in order
Okay,
to
so
keep the equation.
there are 14 pieces now on the board. How many are in the bottom left? Like
Higher
14
than
free
11.
pieces. Oh, if we put 2, that will leave the top one with 11. I don't see the
No,
problem.
if we put 2 here, this is going to go like it's going to be 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If
And
we
the top one you have 11.
yeah,
Which is fine. I mean,
yeah, but
as long
there's
as we
not
solve it.
there's not another one of these ones to fill it.
Yeah. This is not the correct. Obviously, I'm just saying that the number of pieces we're putting is fine. Let me think. Obviously, this is not here. Nope, this was also not correct. Oh fuck, we have so many blues.
No, that definitely is here.
We haven't solved the bottom one.
Ah, that was the
still.
one who's okay.
We have the bottom one to solve first. And this should not be here. 100% sure. Otherwise, we're stuck.
Will that work?
No. I would actually try like this. Maybe something like this. But we're left with so many blues, I'm not sure we can solve the top one.
We have 13 here.
Yeah.
Which means we're
So
still good in terms of the numbers for the top one.
Yeah. Let's give it a go. Maybe it will work. Like these guys fit well into each other if you put one of those on top. Ooh, nice. Now we're stuck. No, we are already stuck. We need to rework.
But are we sure that this one it's a square and not this one?
No,
No, we are not sure.
we're just hoping it's not.
Even the assumption of base of 2 is sort of unclear.
Maybe all of this piece is not for the bottom. Who knows? The bad part with this U here is that it's anything can fit in it, where this one, like, it locks other pieces around it. Tell me if you want to switch, if you're exhausted.
No, I was still going to, but I let many so
No, 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 no.
No, I didn't touch it.
Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah. I'm resting my brain at the moment. I'll give it a go after that.
Sorry, that was me moving it.
Nope.
See,
That,
as you're all stumped, you see Radar just like raise one of his hands, and he is going to do what is popularly called a swapsies between two pieces. So one piece leaves the upper left puzzle, and the one piece leaves the bottom left puzzle, and they swap places to different puzzle sides.
yes. That's a great hint. That means that we have the bottom one totally wrong. Let's rework it. No, 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 no. This one needs to stay here. Let's focus on the bottom one, guys.
Be smart to at least write somewhere what pieces are supposed to be at what place.
Oh, at least for now, I think it's only these two that were swapped. If we get more,
Like some of you might actually forget and like.
yeah, Pete is writing it down at the moment.
Um,
No, actually, it's. I don't know who's red at the moment. Seriously.
usually Von Strad.
Try to use a different color than red and yellow.
No, it's fine. We know that this was Pete. Okay, back to the bottom one, shall we? What if this was not the correct one, and it was actually this, and this was all actually here? And
Another bat appears on the board and just sparkles on the bottom left lock.
I'm just going to grab a drink and go back.
given the comment from Count, do we take that hint into account, guys?
To be honest, right now I think any hint is better than nothing.
Then no hint, yeah. And honestly, that's not that difficult to fit because it's a
But
three
that
vertical.
that would also mean that a red does not have to be fully fit, because there is no piece that will fit
There is no
that
piece
line.
that only has three on a side.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
only three vertical. The vertical
That
one has
means
four.
that means that this one also can be taller.
Indeed.
Could be this one, like.
Or could be this one. Or could be this one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's assume that the red ones are not perfectly fit always. Who is going to solve the bottom one?
I can hear crickets.
I mean, I can always solve it, but I just want to go with others solving puzzle.
It's like this or like this.
It doesn't. I don't think we know the direction,
Yeah, it doesn't matter the direction it is, but it's definitely there.
and it's this piece that was moved from the top. If that is what you're asking about.
Lucian.
Hmm?
Duck.
I'm ducking under the table for a few seconds. I know many things.
Touchy touchy.
I'm gonna tell you something after we're done, and you either give up or succeed on this.
Okay.
Oh,
You're gonna hate me.
they're never gonna give up. Why? It fits perfectly. Don't.
This one's not here then.
It's not there.
Yeah, of course.
This could be though.
Nope. We don't have anything for here. No. You don't need to use the big ones. I mean, they're too lucrative, let's say. Let's try to use the edgy ones as much as possible. Like, let's say you can put this here. Do you want me to try? Do you want me to try to fit in as much of the edgy ones as possible?
If you want to use that one, this is the only way I can see it used.
Which one?
The one I'm rotating on the,
No,
but
I
it's not gonna work.
don't
You
think
have
this
nothing.
one even here. Let me try something.
Welcome back.
You didn't miss anything.
5 minutes of high octane adrenaline commonly found within chess games.
But not speed chess.
There's no speed involved here.
No, you create a gap like that. And we don't know that it won't be here. Like, this was wrong. So I will remove it. And there is no piece to fit here. So I'm guessing this might be off the board.
Yeah, that could work. This here,
No, it's not too. It's too short.
this here,
It's
this
too
here.
short.
Oh, okay.
Like many other things in life, Manus, it's just way too short.
I really want to fit somewhere here. This one, not, I don't know how. Okay. Maybe we should not use this one. I don't think we can make it work as it is. Unless...
That could. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't work. Damn it.
But I think you're onto something.
Going to the bathroom. Really.
You want to something? Maybe the assumption that this one is here is wrong.
Do you see any other three-sided liner? Yeah, that one.
Basically, many of them.
Hmm?
Even this one.
No, that's definitely not.
Well,
it is.
you are
Yeah.
assuming that this part here is correct. We just put it like this.
That's also true.
So let's try with this one. I mean, if you allow me to rake this up, even though it looks good. Like if we put here in a big one.
You notice that rather just lightly swaps two pieces.
So this goes up and this comes down.
Yes. Can you write them down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're good. Oh, that's one less piece of the puzzle.
Is it? Is it really?
Those were not.
Back.
But how do we feel this one? Whoever is moving.
Yeah, I was just trying something, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think this one will work. But I do believe maybe we should rework that part. I mean, if you want to. Or I can return the original one. are gonna give up.
Just give it 30 minutes and Benjamin will be ready to start the revolution. Armed with a ladle and a soup fork, he's ready to start it.
The one we can put here is very limited.
Assuming this one's correct.
Well, it's either this one or this one or this one. Or I guess this one as well.
This one could fit, and I'm pretty sure this one could.
No. This one was in place when we removed them, and it was wrong. I mean, it was part of the original solution. Yuan said that it's not correct.
True.
I mean, it fits perfectly, but it's not the correct piece. So you can try with one of the rest.
So this. What was it? This. And then this. And then this.
Be right back. The watermelon is getting to my belly.
Had the same thought.
With the watermelon?
No, with this piece.
That's gonna be such a fucking nightmare to clear though, when it's literally like a... Is that even possible to clear like that?
Clear what?
No, I mean like this portion, I don't think there's any combination of pieces that can fit into this particular part.
Yeah, just looking at that and it's pretty fucked up.
Wait, why can I not remove that?
You need to select it first.
Yeah, but I did that. I couldn't select it. Why the fuck can I not remove that? That's... You can see that red scribble, right?
Yep.
Weird.
Look, did I miss something?
Exciting gameplay.
Oh, that actually fits here. The big one. But this one here doesn't work. We have nothing for the little hole. Am I dropping from the voice channel? Yeah, I guess everyone is dropping.
No one is dropping except for
You're
Yuan.
you're dropping. As we decided not to respond to you right now.
You guys can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. Because Yuan said that he can connect.
It just like completely crashed. But I also not sure what happened.
I got dropped twice as well, for some reason. Here's my comment.
Oh, silence on you all.
Don't have that piece, right?
No.
We can have it. No, we
No.
can have it if we if we there was a different solution here, I think, was it or no? It was always involving.
There is, I think there is with this one.
Maybe just use this piece and try to rework the right side.
On a side note, I don't actually think Radar has rolled below 10 at all today.
That's nice.
I did.
He's the most intelligent one, after all.
No, that was last time. Well, helps you.
Do we still have a vertical? No, we don't.
Wait.
Let's leave Radar to do his
Did
magic.
Radar move something?
Yeah, something does indeed happen. A little bat decides to actually no, that line is svarte fan. There you go.
Oh,
A
that's
tiny
like
little bat appears. And
two dots.
yes, you know there are a connection there.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that it's that wide of a connection. So it's 2. But it could also be this one. Like this.
No, it couldn't. It goes out of bounds.
No, it doesn't. See.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. Okay.
It's so hard to rotate these pieces. I ping like 10 times to rotate something. Was this locked by
No.
Radar?
No.
It's a possible solution. Maybe. It does screw up a lot of the rest though. But whatever you do, don't put this one. I mean, we know it's incorrect. It doesn't fit the thing anyway.
We don't have nothing like that small L, right?
Yep. Nope. We don't.
Nice.
Can we try with like that? And maybe we can rework this one to be like it was before. Okay. It's
This one's
piece,
locked.
right?
Yeah.
Nice. So this is totally wrong here.
Look, let's do something else. Let's take everything out that isn't bolted down and start from scratch with a new point of view.
Okay. Do you want to give me like 2 minutes to try to arrange something?
Sure.
This won't work. And we know that one of these needs to fit, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think this one, or was it this one? Yeah, that also fits. Funny enough.
We have the other one fixed. Oh, fuck.
Which one? This one?
No, the yellow one. I was going to sort it out.
This one?
Yeah.
It's, as you can see, it's not fixed.
No, I mean, I didn't want to move it. Oh. Okay. Next one, I will relinquish the control. Don't we have two blues? They can fit very nicely there. Just give me a second.
Let me help you out with this one.
Thanks. No, the other blue should stay.
Like this?
Yeah. But no, the other pieces are locked. We don't have a G for here, so it's not this. And I honestly, it doesn't make much sense.
This fits in this setup. We need to find something else for here.
Don't think we have anything that will fill this hole without breaking this line.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we do something like this. Oh, we don't have G's. Oh, fuck it. I forget about this every time.
Be right back, getting coffee.
Do you remember that Radar moved such a piece from the top left puzzle?
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess there is none of those in the top,
No, not necessarily. You moved one, not both.
which means that there should not be one top, because there was only one top. Unless he could have moved the other one, but he's swapping. Yes, he's swapping. So, yes, you're probably correct. Let's go back to the other solution.
Lucian, we need to put some of those big ones as well.
Yeah. How?
I don't know, but because they're not on top, they should be here, you know?
Maybe one here, something like that. Fuck it. It's not this one.
Ruh-oh.
Ouch.
That is correct. You're about to be hit by something red. I'm just trying to find the most trolly place to put it.
Okay. This is at least one solution that has all the red and yellow ones in place.
Let's
And
look
it
at the
has
top one.
this and this as well.
In fact, two tiny little bats now come up. One on the upper left and one on the bottom left.
Nope.
Okay. Back to the drawing board.
Indeed.
Okay. What else do we have for this one here? What if we use the big one? I totally forgot which pieces are supposed to come down. This one is not, might not be the small one. It could be taller.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Can I use this one?
Which one? This one? Sure.
Yes. This one is not correct because it's, at least from what we know, the red line should end here. So I will just go and remove it. But I don't think I have it correct anyway.
As you say that, you hear an what languages do you speak? Lucian.
I know that I speak common. I don't know about any other languages.
Okay. You hear like a phrase you haven't really heard before in a language you seem to be unfamiliar with, and as you're like grabbing this particular piece, putting it away from there, kind of struggling to move it, you look up and you see Arthur just like using his little spectral hand to just keep it in place.
Okay.
Well, that narrows it down.
Yes. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the purple one. So count chart is misleading us. No.
You stop. Do you see the vertical line that's not where it's supposed to be?
Yes, only you can move that one.
Yeah. This one.
Yuan's trying to move that one. He's just having to make you see that the red and yellow lines are overlapping.
Mm-hmm.
Construct
Okay, so
is misleading you. He's literally drawing the exact proper lines.
okay, let's count the. Go ahead. I think there are only 12 or
13.
maybe
Do
13.
you want me to do
Okay.
a count to see how many of those are correct?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. You have 4 correct.
Oh, jeez.
For fuck's sake.
All of them are
They're-
incorrect then.
They're literally all wrong. I mean,
Jesus
they could be right, but they're all wrong.
Fucking.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, this is actually good.
It's
This
progress.
means that the only
what
thing
on
you
the
can put
list?
here is this.
You hear the
We can.
sound of like a face just like banging into the desk as you say that.
No. There is one more that can fit here. This one. Apologies, Radar.
I mean, literally every fucking. Do you want me to show you all the puzzles that can fit? Okay, that can fit there. Okay.
Okay. Which one?
This can fit. This one can fit if you move it
Yes.
like this.
Yes, and this
Yeah.
one is as well. That's it.
Then
And the
this
blue one.
the purple one,
And this one.
You already told us. No. You already told us this is not
the
correct.
tiny one
This one?
there.
All right. Yeah. I see what you did there.
Not that one. No, not that one.
No.
There's gonna be a lot of pieces that can fit that little hole.
True.
Actually, I'm
But
pretty
I like
sure.
the green one. Did we have a big here? I don't think we did, right?
No, we didn't. We had one of these.
The nasty thing about that one, though, if you assume there's going to be a big one there, is that it can literally be here, 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 and there.
That's
So-
the pain of.
Yeah, and it's going to turn out that Strahd is fucking with you, and the piece is actually just this one.
Yeah.
And that's the laugh he's going to use.
What? Is this a hint or not?
All the red lines are probably correct in their own way.
We know that these pieces are connected, but nothing else. Right?
This one does not go there.
You know, the green square and the 4 singular digit one seem to be correct.
Which ones?
This one and the green square.
this one and these.
Yeah. I think this was part of the solution where we said that no, I'm not 100% sure that it was not correct. Am I correct?
Okay.
I don't think this one was correct to begin with.
Yes, it was.
But
I
I might
mean,
be mistaken.
you're remembering, but you're remembering this one, the green one.
Okay,
This
it was
was-
the green one here.
Mhm. Yeah, we tried
You
twice with that
had
one.
the green one like this, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's assume this solution. Then, I don't think it has any of the old pieces in place. Someone can correct me
It
if
does.
that's
It
wrong.
does. It does. But they're
Which one?
arranged differently.
Yeah, I mean in the same place. Right?
Ah, no.
Like, let's use this solution then. Yeah, I have to give it to you. This puzzle is pretty challenging.
Give me the hardest one, he said.
Can someone select the middle piece here?
Which
I
one?
cannot.
Penguin.
Yeah, I can do it like that.
I also believe that. Oh, never mind.
This one never goes there.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to remove it. This one fits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have so many blue ones.
This
No.
one is correct here.
Which one?
The middle one.
How do you know?
Well, if you have a 2 point, too wide something here, this is the only thing that can fit in between.
We just got another hint.
So that's a 3 long there.
Yeah, I'm trying to rotate it and it will become too long.
Okay. Let me help you.
You're thinking the same thing.
Indeed.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering? But now we don't have anything for here. No. It's totally not this solution. Unfortunately, we don't have anything for here.
No, that definitely is from down here. It's marked.
No, the one that's marked is the brown one. It's this one.
No, the one that was swapped by Radar was the green large one.
No,
No.
it was the
The brown one.
It was a brown one.
Yes, this one is not even. The brown one is a perfect 3x3. Or like
Oh,
a,
okay.
this one is
one
like
is
a
you
4.
drew the picture. I mean, here it's
True.
3 by
But
3. But now we destroyed the other puzzle. I kind of think of it with so many blues. Actually, the blues fit well with the green ones, the teal ones. We should probably take advantage of something like that.
No, that's a rather roll, by the way. Just forgot to swap.
They both have the same intelligence.
No, I'm rolling with rather stats, but since
Oh, okay. Guys, this might not even be the correct one here. It could be this one,
It could,
but it might not be.
indeed.
holy okay.
What?
Oh, Straw rolled a 1.
Oh,
Okay, that changes things. How am I going to fix that?
The whole mess you mean that we made?
bottom left.
Bottom left, yes. So we have 5. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Oh,
Okay, this is actually very good help.
indeed.
This is actually
Which
very, very good.
means he moves one of those pieces down and is gonna lock it.
Okay, this is actually very good help. We should be able to solve it from here.
Trying to rotate that one.
Spoken optimistically there.
No. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but now we still have big ones in the top one.
You have big one in the bottom one as well.
Yeah. I don't know why you have the impression there's no big one in the top left one.
We just thought that since Yuan moved it away, but it was a swap, so he could only move pieces that are in the puzzle. So, yeah. I think the big one might be here. Might be not
Good.
be.
Let's
There
try.
are 10 correct ones in the left, bottom left one.
In the bottom left. Then okay, so this one is no brainer. I mean, there is nothing else here.
Indeed.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that makes them
6.
6 that we are positive about.
Okay, so there are 4 more that are correct, and the rest are not. I would assume.
There are 5 you're correct about. No, actually, if you can't.
Oh,
This one.
there is nothing else we can
Yes,
put
you are
here.
correct. Yeah, never mind.
Okay, do we follow Strat's thingy or not?
That answers your question.
I think I have this solution in mind. Let me try.
Yes, please. I think you left that one underneath the rest of them. Let me check.
Someone else moved it. I didn't.
I will. Don't worry.
I didn't touch anything.
Sorry.
No, Zuri moved one of the blocks underneath the other one.
Did we have this in place when we were told they were 10?
Yes, there was one.
So this is 1, 2,
I'll say this.
3,
This was there,
4.
this was there, and the green ones were there, and those two were there, but the rest has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 10 pieces that were before, and the rest are changed. So I think this might be correct. How? Maybe there are other solutions that don't move 4 of the pieces.
Quite possibly.
We'll have to wait for other tips.
There's like 45 different pieces here, so I'd imagine there's an endless combination of solutions. Maybe.
Yeah, but this is a pretty you have to not move 4 of the pieces, right? So it's
Yeah.
pretty limited. Okay, let's focus on the top one now. And I think I see one that can fit perfectly. Fuck it.
That's very close.
I don't think this one here is correct. But I also don't think I can put it somewhere except here.
No. Leave that square there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, what, you want it like this?
Oh, it's already soft. Just leave me to put it in place. Ta-da!
Indeed. Tata, indeed.
Jesus. This was exhausting.
As you place the last puzzle pieces into the lock, the first thing you notice is that you hear like a click, 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 click from 4 different locks at the same time, and you see all the pieces go in, and the chest slowly opens up into a smaller chest.
Oh,
Oh,
joy!
no.
Kidding. This is the moment we hear somewhere in England, Pete's just going like, ah! Did he actually leave right behind?
Yes.
For those of you that
Yeah.
wonders, this would have been the simpler puzzle.
This looks pretty easy, by the way.
Compared to the previous one, yes, it does.
Um,
Let me see the simple one when I load back in.
what did he say?
So let me see the simple one when I load back in.
Yes. Okay. Give me a second. I just actually need to pick up.
So what was it, like 1 hour in last session?
It's about 1 hour and a half in the last session and 1 hour 45 in this session. So 3 hours, give or
Only
take.
1 hour. It was 1 hour in the last session.
Give me a second. I just need to find the document.
Yes, Zuri, but we're 1 hour 45 into this session.
I would say round it up to 3 hours since that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 3
So
hours.
it's 3 hours,
It's
give or
3
take.
hours. Yes?
Uh,
3 hours.
as you're okay, can I say something that I would have wanted to have said for a long time that might piss some of you off?
Sick.
Do
I
shit.
mean, why didn't you try to pick at least one of the locks?
I didn't even know it had.
You could have literally just tried to bypass. I mean, I didn't know if any of you were going to try that, but I'm thinking, yeah, you could have probably tried to bypass one of the locks there.
Seriously, if we had one of those solved,
Well,
predefined, it would
No,
make it so
wait
easy.
a second, because picking one of the lock wouldn't have solved it. It would have just opened it. And the thing about it is that if you solve 3 of them and you're left with 1, you just as well can solve the last one.
Yeah,
We can solve the other 3 in like 100 more ways than if we don't have to deal with the
Yeah.
4.
like you could have had a lot more pieces and options, but
We had it solved with 3 locks, like literally in the first hour, like maybe first 30 minutes.
I mean, I didn't plan for that. I just started thinking earlier today when this was going to be on tonight's agenda. What if they just picklock this and try to see if they can open it? Yeah, I think I would have allowed that, to be honest. At least one of the 4.
This
Um,
is-
are you doing anything with the chest after you hear the clicks?
Benjamin wanted to see Daisy
Oh no,
blocks.
that might be pulled in game some different time.
Okay.
will
Yes, we
let
open it.
Benjamin look
No.
at it.
No, wait. We do not open it. We ask Assam nicely to investigate for traps.
Really? Just so I feel even worse, right?
It's a
Uh,
mimic.
I mean, you run your fingers over the puzzle panels, and as you do, you set off like a randomizer function where all the pieces just like literally slide back into different places, and you have to solve everything yet again. You do not see anything in terms of wiring or what could be considered mechanical uh, imperfections to the chest.
Maybe we should ask the Count whether we can open it. It's his property.
Indeed,
Solution says.
that is a good idea.
He asks us to solve the riddle, not to open it.
Politeness. Interesting. Almost as interesting as this little affair. Well, but most affairs it comes to an end. Indeed. Um, the Count just like waves towards you. You have earned your rewards, young ones. Do what you will with the contents. They are yours to keep if you so wish. And you see both Rother and the Count just like being very focused on what. Are any of you proficient with Dragon Chess?
Let me check.
What?
Dragon Chess, it's like a game piece. Some have like dice sets, some have like playing cards. Dragon Chess is the thing.
I didn't even know you can be proficient in games.
You are required to select a proficiency in one of the games at the beginning when you create a character.
Yes.
You are. And
Didn't?
where is that? Because I don't remember having.
Depends on the background.
Yeah.
For instance, soldiers get this, which is why Benjen has some game proficiency.
So do I. Unfortunately, my proficiency is in dice, not in.
Mine's in cards.
I guess you guys are the more. What was the word? Like. My
Gamblers?
bro, gambling type, yeah.
There seems to be a lot of pieces on the sides, and there's very few pieces on the board. So whatever's happening seems to be reaching an end on their side of things as well. But yeah, you've been allowed to open the chest.
Open the
Benjen,
chest.
do us the honors.
Sure thing. I'll open the chest.
Yeah, did you say you opened the chest?
Yep.
You open the chest. One of the things that you first notice right away is that it seems to be pretty full with what can best be described as coins. There's also a vial with some form of liquid inside of it, resting on top of the uh, the pile of gold. And there's also what seems to be some form of a necklace of sorts, uh, shaped in like the pendant of the necklace is like shaped in the form of a heart. So one particular vial of some form of liquid, and then one particular pendant-ish type of thing, and then what seems to be a lot of coins of some variety. You move towards Rardar with the necklace as he's in a deep, concentrated combat of wits and intelligence, and you start trying to barter off the necklace to him. He does not seem very happy being disturbed. And after a bit, it seems like the game of Dragon Chess comes to an end. You can see that it seems that out of sheer position of the pieces, it seems like both are stuck with one piece, and then the game is over. It's a stalemate. Is someone like trying to talk to me on shit talk there?
On what?
Shall I? Oh, never mind.
No, it's we're discussing in the wrong channel. Like, Pete is about to YOLO the potion. Yun, out of character, can you please put the castle music back on? My brain is like hurting as I hear the Tetris music.
Sorry, it's like completely phased me out there.
Just to make it sure, I do not hear the Tetris music. I don't know why.
Oh,
I
this
put
is
the sound to low because of it.
that Tetris music was frying my brain. Okay. Now that Radar's game is over, maybe he can identify these items for us.
A more personal gift for a game well played.
Ooh.
Benjen, you check over the vial. First of all, what you see is best described as a very clear glass vial with like a cork on top. There is like a silver type of pendant hanging over the potion itself. It has like a symbol that you don't really recognize. Make a religion check, actually. Um, doesn't really have any particular um, familiarity towards you. The pendant perhaps has some religious significance for some. Inside, there's a pretty transparent liquid inside. You can see that there's something in there. Um, you look inside, there seems to be something floating in it. You're not quite sure what it is. Um, seems to be something that's not slightly like transparent but has solid form.
Toilet water.
Could be. For all Benjamin knows, this is exactly what it could be.
Let's split the money first.
Yes. You are trying to find out what that floating thing is. Question mark?
It.
Yeah.
You study it. Seems to be a pretty freaking large fingernail.
Mhm.
That seems to be floating within the liquid. Ah, you used a ritual type of identification method. Interesting. It would be much faster to just simply cast the spell word. Very well. Spend some time in the evening and take some time with the artifacts. They could be of use to you all, I suppose. For the time being, let us finish dessert and, well, we can conclude our evening. I take it you are in need of shelter and bedroom for the evening, correct?
Yes, indeed. And we again find ourselves thanking you for your hospitality.
Welcome. It is part of our customs. You have safe haven until you wish to pass on, to leave for Valaki or back to Barovi or wherever your journeys might take you. Just don't infringe on my hospitality, and I am more than willing to be helpful. Any matters you wish to have an answer for. The Count turns towards you, Benjamin, and is like, they are absolutely to die for.
Okay. Never mind.
If you have questions and such, this could be the time to, well, literally ask and get answers, I suppose. If not, dinner will eventually conclude with politeness, and then you're off to the guest house, unless you want to try to sneak away.
Yeah, right. We know that's stupid. I think we asked pretty much everything we wanted to know.
Um, Your Lordship, if I may ask a more personal question,
Yes,
how did you become a vampire?
a curse. As simple as that. There are, well, to my knowledge, there is no one as. From what I know, I was the first that contracted this curse, and it was the result of first me killing someone dear to me, sadly unintentional in this particular matter, and then the inevitable betrayal where my own bannermen tried to kill me. And thus, the cycle and contract were finally concluded, and I was cursed. I had a friend once. His name was Alec. He was hired by my father to teach me well, many things in particular, but he was to teach me the intricacies of the sword so I would be able to survive in my uh, encounters while leading our armies. In time, Alec was among my closest confidants. He was my right hand man. He was a friend, a bodyguard, a teacher. He was, in many ways, more of a brother to me than my own two brothers were. During some events that transpired, a misunderstanding happened, and in his panic, he drew his sword on me, and on the very rooftops of this castle, we dueled, and it ended with both of us impaling the other on the sword. Sadly, I survived. He did not. And with that, the first part of the contract was signed. My inevitable death, not long after, sealed the other half of the contract. To become a vampire in the way I became requires contact with the dark powers, and then tragedy. For me, that was the killing of one of my, well, dearest friends. The death of a brother. And that was the beginning of my curse. Simply put. The story is a long one. On another occasion, I'm sure you would be interested to hear it, but I must admit it's not one I'm very willing to share right now. It's a long story, to be fair, and it involves betrayals most foul of people that I held dear, which in many ways has shaped my rule and govern of this place to be what it is today. Very hands off. I'd rather trust the capacity and capability of my own bannermen rather than control them directly. I prefer to not be seen as to not grow arrogant bannermen thinking they can supplant me. it saves everyone the tragedy of having an open civil war.
Understandable. You mentioned that you were in contact with the dark powers that be before you were cursed.
Again, it's very well. I'll tell you the story. This is like a complicated one, to be fair. At the very height of the war, our forces had taken the valley. I had bested the Turg leader in single combat, and this valley had become ours. We had repopulated, we had established rule, our people had settled, we had rebuilt the castle. I had renounced my throne. Sturm led our ancestral Sarovi and homelands. Um, I took up countship of this valley. Within this time, our youngest brother, Sergei, had become. Well, first, he had grown up from a child to a teen. He had studied the religious arts. He was set to become a high priest of Lathander until he fell in love. Uh, he had fallen in love, and as custom dictates, we wanted to throw him a spectacular wedding. So our decision, me and Sturm, was to hold the wedding in the valley, and I summoned all my bannermen from the wars, all the great families, to, um, in many ways, celebrate what would be perhaps the greatest von Stradovich of us all. Uh, on the week beforehand, my friend Alec Guilim had come to me with a book. It was a magical tome. Uh, I had always been gifted in the magical arts, but warfare leads you with precious little time to delve into the arcane, so as such, I never paid my magical talents any heed. For our time, uh, as friends, he brought me a tome, a magical one at that. Uh, it was a special tome, he said. It had the ability to secure the good graces and fortunes of everyone that read it. In my hubris, naturally, I opened the tome and I started reading. And what was once a black book with black pages darkened turned into pages with writing. It was fascinating, captivating, and at first it was quite innocent. It was the spell works to create uh, a magical hand and a servant that can do uh, the simplest of tasks. It was the simplest of things to be able to instantly read any language you can see before you as if magically translated. It was the most simplistic and most innocent spells there were. However, as you probably understand, before I realized the tone of the book had turned into more of a sinister nature. It began with the simple study of life, how to mend wounds, how to reattach a broken or severed limb, something that would be mostly just reserved for the greatest of our priests that helped us during war. And then, from healing life force, it became manipulating life force. That was when the voices started appearing out of thin air. These horrible, horrible voices, sinister, malevolent. And in my quarters they spoke to me. In fact, these were the voices that Alec had come to hear when he had come to visit me later that evening. Horrified by the words of these voices, he burst in, sword drawn, and he were freaked out, for a lack of a better term. Well, he attacked. He sliced me. He gave me a superficial wound, but enough of a time to stumble towards my bed to draw my own sword, and together we ran out towards the rooftop and fought our duel. There, he impaled me on his rapier, and I slit his chest asunder with a great cleave. And as we were bleeding out, these horrible voices told me to bite down on his throat, tear his throat asunder, and drink deep if I wanted to stay alive. In desperation, I did. And my first sin was literally drinking the own blood of my best friend so that I could survive. And I did. Horrified, changed. Though I didn't really understand how I had changed. Blood is the essence of life. Without blood, no life. Without life, no blood. Although it did not turn me into a vampire of sorts. You see, the book, from what I have understood in the centuries that have passed, is merely a summoning of sorts to allow these powers to manifest themselves on this plane. Having read sufficiently, they could manifest themselves to start influencing reality around them. In reality, the tome itself is a physical manifestation of this plane and the prison within. And what Alec had not known, as he had given me the tome, was that he had brought a prison to me, and I had unwittingly opened the doors to this prison. However, this did not change anything. They were loose, set upon this world, yes, but weak. However, the very next day was the day of the wedding of Sergei and his beloved. And that is when inevitable betrayal struck me, my family, and my bannerman, which led to the death of my brother, his bride, of me, and most of my closest friends, war. Uh, trying to look for a word, sorry, this is out of character. War companions and my bannerman, in one swift act of betrayal from a family I have tried to strike from the books of our history. Over half of the noble families were eliminated. Children, husbands, wives, elders, siblings, all poisoned and murdered one by one in cold blood. My own brother, his throat slit, his bride thrown off the cliffs into the rocky demise below, and murder of everyone else I held dear here in Barovia sealed the last part of the contract. The betrayal of the people I once firmly trusted. So you see, you can become a monster without really intending to be. There are people out there that will sacrifice everything to become a monster. And in truth, becoming a monster is one of the most simplistic of things there ever is. But then again, the worst tragedies, I think, is the ones where you become a monster without being able to stop it. But then again, perhaps what can be construed as monstrous can, in some way, give you purpose.
Out of character. I did not understand who killed his brother and his bride exactly.
Really answered that question.
Uh,
He just said there was betrayal, but he didn't say. Okay.
How can I best describe this? You get the sense that, okay. Make an insight check from me, Surreal. Or Lucian. With this 15, you kind of understand that there's parts of that story he's intentionally omitting not give you the full picture of the story. But you know it involves. He seemed to have been pretty upfront about the first part, leading to the murder of his friend. But everything from that point on seems to be giving you the quick explanation rather than the thorough explanation as to who did what and who survived and all of these kind of things. There is certainly a lot more to that story. But if you consider him drinking blood to be the first part and the betrayal the second part, he seems to have been upfront about the first part. He hasn't told you the story about the second part.
Count Strad, you never told us who betrayed your brother and his bride,
and yourself.
All right.
and yourself, of course.
I have tried my best to strike that name from the records of the history books. After all, the scum killed almost everyone I held dear and isolated me from the rest.
He is not locked in this realm with you by any chance, is he?
Oh, he is most dead. When I was returned to on life, well, let us just say that my first action was to hunt down this scum. In truth, you see, during the war, I had gotten a warning from the Vishtani that an order of assassins had been sent to murder me for reasons that I did not know. In fact, for the most part, um, I assumed it came with the rank and title of uh, Crown Prince. But then my father and my mother were assassinated by the Turks. I became the king elect. I and Sturm, well, we decided to not do anything with this particular uh, discussion of who was to be the heir or not, and as a result, it led to me eventually uh, passing on my rights to become heir. However, this did not stop this order of assassins, these Baal Versi, followers of the god of death, Baal. Well, after we had conquered the Turks, one of the first things we did was to celebrate in the ruined fortress that was standing here, the castle that eventually became Ravenloft. We celebrated, the alcohol ran freely, and, as fate would have it, 5 of us were eventually put in a rather sticky situation. It was me, it was my friend Alec Quillim, it was my closest bannerman, Reinhold de Silnia, his younger brother Leo, and, well, one of our most. What was that noise?
Mm, I think I know.
That noise? The doo.
Yeah, I think it's a notification from my on my side, but I'm not sure from where it comes.
Ah.
I know. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you want me to
No, no, no,
tell you?
no, no, no. I know what to do about it. Just keep on. I'll take care of it.
I can wait.
It's done.
Okay. Who did I say?
You were telling us about your closest bannerman.
The 5 of us spent some. No, I missed out on one. It was me. It was my dear friend Alec Quillim. It was my closest bannerman, and perhaps the leader of the strongest contingent of our forces, Reinhold de Silnia, his younger brother Leo de Silnia, and then Gunther Kosko, one of our trainers in all arts that are of seduction and of the gentleman arts. We had spent most of the time running errands between our soldiers, boosting morale, drinking toasts. Admittedly, we became intoxicated. That is when the assassin struck the first time. One of our guards apparently had been a Balversi assassin. And, you know, we had the fortune of being able to stop him before he managed to kill me. And to be fair, we forgot about the thing. This order of assassins had been stopped. What other threats could there possibly be? Time went on. We rebuilt the castle, we settled. The years went on. Sturm became a magnificent king in his own right in our ancestral homelands. And Sergei, he grew up, became a man mother would have been quite proud of. And then he fell in love. He came to visit. He had heard the tales of his oldest brother, the great war general, and I had not seen him, well, for the better part of 20 years. In a war that lasted 27 years, spending time with family was not something I had the fortune of. So, as a way of apology, I offered him a magnificent wedding here. And I called all the great families. I called the Guilims. I called the Desilnias. I called the Petrovs. I called the Boritsis. I called the Wachters. I called the Kreshnikovs. And well, they all came, young and old, heirs, heiresses, uh, the barons, the great lords and ladies of the land came to honor my dear brother. And it was in this moment the actual Balversi assassin revealed his true colors. It was a man called Leo de Silnia, the younger brother to one of my closest friends. He had been there the night where the guard had tried to assassinate me. He was in fact the man that had tried to save me. However, this treasonous lapdog was swift in killing an innocent guard and pawning him off as a would-be assassin, while he spent his time slowly poisoning his older brother, simply for the hope of land, money, power, thinking that with his older brother away, he would be the right-hand man of the Count. And if I had a unfortunate accident, well, he would be the lord of the entire realm. However, with the threat of a wedding and the ascension of Sergei as my most trusted right-hand man, he decided to act. So he poisoned every single visitor that came. He poisoned the children, the old, the elderly, the lords and ladies, their guards, their servants. He took his own men, stationed as guards, and turned their crossbows on anyone that was still alive, able to walk and stand. That day became bloodshed. My brother, his throat slit. They took his bride and hurled her off the cliffs. Me, I was greeted with a hail of crossbow bolts, bleeding out, but not dead. A little flicker of life remained, a part of the unwilling covenant I had bound, having drank the blood of my friend Alec the night before. And in their betrayal, their brutal murder by someone I trusted entirely, they unwillingly and unwittingly signed the other half of this most unholy covenant. You see, this dark power, this vampire, he demands two things. The murder of someone as close to you as a brother, or a sister, a father, a daughter, your best friend, your beloved, someone that you have such love for in your heart that their loss will become eternally unbearable. After you have murdered someone you hold dear, you then have to suffer the act of most inhumane betrayal by someone you trusted with your whole heart. By my murder of Alec, and the betrayal by the vermin Leo de Zilnia, the covenant was signed, and my unholy ascension was, well, it had been brought to life, forever cursed in this unholy shell, cursed into being chained into this this gilded prison. And I rose from the dead. They had gathered them all in the grand hall. They were slitting the throats of the people gasping for air, suffocating from the poison in the food. Priests and priestesses, nuns, servants, guards, my most trusted veterans of war, my most devoted followers, my friends, their families, dying in these very halls, paved with the vomit of poison, of blood into every stonework in this place. And there I rose, weak, unable to be murdered by blade or bold, hungering for strength of life. I told the remaining survivors to lock themselves in the chapel, to not come out no matter the sound, the scream, the horrors they would hear. And as they were safe, I hunted for a week, rooting out every single treacherous dog from this castle. And I drank. I feasted on their very lives. These treacherous scums became the very first victims of this curse. And that became the fate of those that oppose me, that would murder people I hold dear. So when you ask who betrayed me, people I loved. But I realize this was how it was fated to be. Someone had to find that book, someone had to read it to release these powers. Someone had to betray someone loved and cherished, and then in return be betrayed and murdered. This is the seductive powers that these forces hold. They bend reality to their will, so their will can manifest. For me, eternal damnation. This is the curse of Strahd. An eternity of being a jailer tormented by the knowledge that everyone he held dear either is dead, has been murdered by him himself, or have lived their lives far away in an entirely different dimension without ever getting to see them again. From what I know, my brother Sturm lived a long, happy life. His descendants probably live to this very day, but I never got the chance to see him again. I never got to see his children, his grandchildren, to feel the very pride elate in my chest when I see how he, in very essence, lived up to my father's expectation. How my mother would have been proud to see what he became. This I never got to see. This I will never get to feel, because I'm stuck in an unholy shell. So yes, I want to die. Yes, I want to get rid of this curse, because every single day I hear the voices. They speak to me. They tell me their hearts are beating slightly faster, beating that blood through their veins. A few seconds and you could have them all at your whim and mercy. Such seductive whispers. Resisting them is the hard part. And sometimes, when I'm not able to resist being pushed into a corner, I have to obey. So ask yourselves, young children, how do you think it would be to be in my situation?
Out of character, this is the most epic story ever.
Of the character, I'm still not certain that this is part of the original script. I actually am pretty convinced that it's not.
Oh yeah, it's not.
Back in character, I'd say quite horrible.
Indeed. In reality, this curse makes me nothing more than a slave to powers that are intangible, but absolute. I must be the willing pawn in the same way that young Master Arthur and I used pawns, knights, fortifications to fight our war between ourselves. However, make no mistake, the powers that be tend to be quite absolute, which is why you are faced with the most inhumane decision. Betray your convictions and die in eternal torment. Or, well, give up. Fortunately for me, I do not have to make that choice. I am not allowed to give up.
These powers that be, these dark forces that are controlling this realm, and to its extent, you. In all your years, and I've heard you've spent centuries here, did you find a method to outwit them or win in this game of fate?
Would I really be here if that was the case? There is a reality here that when you walk out in the woods, young one, do you ponder upon what the ants think as they scurry along the forest floor? Have you ever stopped to consider what does an ant want, need, or desire in their existence? Are you even aware of their hopes and dreams and future? Or do you just put your foot down, whatever might be on afoot? These forces, they are. Consider what a god is. That is the reality of what you face. You cannot. I should not say you cannot, but I think it is unlikely that you could outwit forces that are omniscient, omnipresent, that can bend reality to their own will, that can create worlds, that can create entire planes of existence. It is as foreign to me as magic would be to an ant.
You see, the thing is that, as you know through so very well, even the tiniest of ants can succumb a human, and even the tiniest of fleas can bring down the king of the elephants.
You would have seen this fortress and what it is capable in terms of defensive structures, yes?
True, it is very impressive.
If you gave an ant a sword, a miniature sword, but a sword nonetheless, would you trust that single ant to storm the castle and take it over?
Ah, I know where you're going with this, but in the metaphor you've used, then yes, because as you said, one would not care about the ants, and one would not pay attention to the ants, and those that aren't paid attention to can move around without being seen, heard, or felt.
Splendid. I am glad you understood the example. It means I dumbed it down sufficiently. However, it is important to point out, in a reality where a hand wave can obliterate a whole forest, and this is not even enough to even scratch at the very surface of these malevolent beings that are incorporeal, ethereal, that are non physical constructs of concepts. How do you touch what could be considered divinity. You cannot. I am perhaps the most powerful being that you will ever come to meet in your mortal lives, and I am not even at a fraction of what I would be able to consider comparable to what these powers are. Do you know how it is to feel your mind be controlled by something? Have you ever
No,
felt your will dominated?
I can safely say that no.
Then dance for me. Roll a saving throw.
Which kind of saving throw?
Uh, Give me a second. This would probably be charisma. Give me a second. Just
Yeah, it's either wisdom or charisma.
the problem here is that I don't have that spell listed, so I'm just gonna check quickly.
I can assume it's the command spell, I guess.
It is not. It is. It's a wisdom saving throw, in fact. Dance, Manis. Dance. Roll a performance check. You give off, and what type of a dance would you try to do?
I don't know, something traditional.
Okay, you dance a traditional dance that you are familiar with as throughout your life, and it is a very faithful rendition of a traditional folk dance from where you come from. You feel this extreme, strong compulsion from Strahd to do exactly what he tells you to do. Internally, you are very much. Would you be uncomfortable being forced to do something you don't like?
Yes, I would.
But every single fiber of your being forces you to do exactly what he says to dance for him. And once you're like you're trying to resist, you have no chance to resist. I would allow you to. I'm just gonna check. No, it's just one saving throw for the duration. Just checking to see if. No, doesn't say you can save. Roll 2 saving throws for me anyway, in case I'm wrong about that.
So I'm going to roll another wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, 2 some saving throws.
2 saving throws?
Yes. I'm not. I don't think you're allowed to save more than once for this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just both failed. So
19 failed. Fuck.
his spell
Ouch.
DC is higher than 19.
Ouch.
You can wrestle with that one in your mind.
Does the spell DC is higher than 21?
Why do you ask? I
Because
think that
21 is the mathematical highest I can do a wisdom saving throw. So it's a natural 20 plus 1 from the bonuses I have. So if it's higher than 21, then there's no point in me rolling because I have no
Natural
mathematical
20
chance.
always saves, I think.
I just literally need to find where the hell his.
Doesn't natural 20 always save?
No, not saving throws. That's just attacks, I believe. I might be wrong about that. I actually saving throws would. Yeah, you would save on a natural 20 minus.
Oh, so basically, regardless of how high the DC is, a natural 20 would get you out. But if you have a high bonus in saving throws, then a 19 plus the bonus might get you over the DC. even if it's higher than 20. Okay, get.
A 19 for you would probably be a 20, I guess.
Yes, a 19 for me would be a 20.
Well, then you should roll a natural 20 then.
I see. So only a natural 20 would have saved.
Okay,
Yes.
it's here it says that it doesn't affect skill checks, abilities, or saving throws. It's basically only attacks.
I didn't actually. I thought it was saving throws as well. Interesting.
You were right
Um,
the first time.
Okay. Well, 19 failed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you would have to roll those wisdom saving throws. I think it's a high enough level to force you to do it for the duration, depending on how long he sets the duration. But he will cut it short after you've done a few dance tricks and feel vastly uncomfortable with being forced to do something you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies. I do not much enjoy forcing someone to do their bidding, but you seem to have wanted to, uh, if nothing else, understand what these forces can do. And to them, they can bend reality in this way and force someone like me to do exactly what I now did to you. And I do not consider myself to be remotely capable of resisting. There is a reality here that these forces is not found within this valley. These forces are the valley. If they cease to be, this entire plane of existence would crumble apart with everyone within them. The removal of these powers would be the death of everyone within, as if they had never been born or never drew breath.
Mm-hmm.
That is the reality of what you face. You do not face something that walks upon the world, you face something that are worlds themselves. Resisting these things is,
Futile.
if it was not futile, I would have done so centuries ago.
I see.
But I have not found such an ability to resist. It is perhaps not the news you wish to hear, but it is sadly the reality of what you face. You can become their pawn and do as they wish and, well, take up arms against me, or you can defy them and, well, damn your soul for eternity as they feed upon the very existence and lifeblood of your soul and what makes you into you. But I have no illusions. In time, desperation will come crushing down upon you all, and you will hide behind a justification. He is undead, he is evil. He is a pawn of evil itself. My life matters more. I can do more alive than I will do dead. And you will take up arms. This I am sure of. I do not have any problems believing in the goodness of a person's soul, their determination. But I know everything about what happens when goodness is corrupted. It is inevitable with time, I am afraid, when seeped in evil. But my apologies, I'm sure this will not be our only encounter. So I will, if you wish, I might send you an invitation for another dinner. Visit if that is what you want. If not, I'm sure we will run into each other. My only request is that you do not interfere with my affairs. If you could do me a favor, I would actually be most grateful if you are heading towards Wallaki.
Of course.
Which we are.
There is someone I wish you to bring a particular uh, object to, if you would not mind. And I'm trying to find this freaking object, but I do not know where the hell I put it.
It depends what that object is.
Oh, there we go. He produces what can best be described as a scroll case of sorts, or like a tube of sorts that's like leather bound. It has some gemworks in it. It seems to be made of like gold with like leather wrapped around it, and it seems to be like firmly like sealed. Um, there are a number of issues within this realm that requires attention. For instance, in the town of Olachi, I have objections on how the burgomaster uh, governs his people. In fact, since this involves me, I will not tell you anything. But if you could find a solution to the issues within Wallaki itself, I would be, well, grateful. You have come to uh, enjoy the wine of my realm, I'm sure. My contacts tell me that there are issues with the winery close to Wallaki as well. I'm sure you will find much more information about this in Wallaki, but our wine is one of the few pleasures my people have, and I would hate for them to be without wine. There are news to me as well that matters in the town of Kreshk is not that favorable. So if you have time, that is a place to stop by as well once you are done with Walachi. But if you are going to Walachi, there is one particular task I have for you. If uh, your little gift from me is incentive enough to do a favor for me.
Of course.
Within this scroll, there is a content that I wish you to deliver to a woman called Claudia Velasco. She is the headmistress of the orphanage in Walachi. It's as simple as this. Deliver this scroll case to headmistress Velasco, and if you could, not tell anyone that you are bringing this from me, only to her and her alone. If you could do this, I would be most grateful.
I didn't get any handout, by the way. Did I?
You did now. It's even even put in like a little line there under the picture to tell you exactly who you're going to head it to.
Oh, that's pretty useful, by the way.
Indeed, it is.
So if you could do me this favor, I would be most grateful. After all, someone has to think of the poor orphans. No.
Indeed. There's one slight little favor I would like to ask of you, if it's possible, of course.
If it is within the boundaries of reason, and if it is something that you are, that I am able to do for you, then sure.
If you could provide us with a document that states that we are in your employment, it would help us avoid problems we had in Barovia with the townsfolk not being very forthcoming.
In truth, I think such a document would give you far more grief than you would ever realize. There, at least in Valachi, it would probably lead to your swift execution, I would imagine. I would explain to you why, but I think spending a day or two in Valachi would probably tell you everything you need to know. I would strongly recommend you to not tell anyone that you are within my employ, at least when not heading to Valachi.
This is sound advice.
It is very cryptical, I realize, but if you do not trust me, at least spend a few days gauging the mood within Valachi to see what happens. Perhaps you will understand my reluctance to do you this favor.
I understand what you're trying to warn us, and we understand that discretion is always best to be advised and approached. I was just thinking that it might open some doors that would usually be closed in other circumstances. As I said, it's just a slight favor if it's possible. It's not something. It's not something that we want to bind you to.
He waves towards someone you probably forgot about, Irina. Whether or not you trust my words for things, you are free to ask the Lady Kalyana how my persona is considered within this realm. I try to not be seen by my people. I try to not pay any. I'd rather let them spawn rumors about me rather than confirm or deny anything. For me, it's better to be an absent lord than be a hands-on lord. When I had hands-on ruling, my own loyal men rose up to kill everyone I had grown to hold dear throughout decades of lifetime and strife. I'd rather be the aloof, distant mystery upon a mountain top that no one ever sees than be the person that is to blame for every misfortune the local populace can think of when illnesses ravage the people, or the crops fail, or the taxations are too high in the minds of the people. Governing is a complicated matter, and the poor Lady Kalyana has had to deal with her father doing the governing of Barovia, one of our more poor villages. Her brother now has to contend with these dilemmas on a daily matter. For me, as long as taxations are paid every single year, there is no problem. As long as the law is followed and enforced by my boyars, I have no outstanding issues. And if a threat is to rise up against my people and my rule, they will be swiftly and mercilessly crushed beneath my fist. That is the simplicity of Strahd's rule.
I can respect that.
Lucian interrupts them with, I think we should be going. It's getting late.
indeed. You have free range of the guest house. You will find its larder being stocked with sustaining food. I would advise you against bringing the finery and the food with you as you leave, as they will magically dissolve once you have passed a certain distance from the castle. But otherwise, use the guest house as you freely wish.
Thank
And I
you.
would not only thank you for the company, thank you for the entertainment of seeing you struggle with your puzzle, and thank you for the challenge of a game most entertaining. I, at least, feel high in spirits after our meeting. I hope you do not disappoint. Anyone wants to do something before you're setting off to the guest house to sleep for the night?
I think I'm okay, guys.
Not before the guest house, I guess.
Guest house.
Now I can talk shit about Pete because he can't hear me because he muted me, right?
Yep. Just joking.
I know.
I trust this completely. Do we quit there and pick it up from the guest house, or are you interested in what you got and stuff like that? Or
Yeah,
I mean,
let's deal with the loot first before we go.
I can literally go 5 more hours with this shit
Uh,
because
I, I,
I don't have to get up in the morning.
I do.
No.
I can't go for another 5 hours. I could go for another 2 hours, tops.
Um, let's say for the purposes of this, you all gather in the ground floor fireplace compartment and pour out all the gold that you got and the items you got.
How much
Okay?
gold was that? Let's start with that.
As you count up the pieces, you get the sense that it's about 1,000 gold.
Ooh.
Exactly. So everyone gets 200 gold if you want to divide that accurately.
If we would go for giving Radar a double share, that would mean we all get 166 gold, and Radar will get the rest.
Radar, however, also won a prize for his game. So he has
Okay,
actually
so
gotten
yeah,
something that you don't get.
Okay, so
technically getting his cut from the whole share is good.
Yes. Radar rolled. I mean, you saw Radar's rolls. He rolled really good on the intelligence challenge, and for some fucking reason, actually managed to win that. I don't know. He has a pretty high intelligence, so it's not that weird. The potion, Pete. I don't know who has what here, but I'm just gonna tell you what they are. The potion Ryder spends 10 minutes to identify is a potion of stone giant strength.
ooh,
What it does is that for 1 hour, your strength becomes 23. Like the tree.
Regardless of what it was.
It just sets your strength score to 23 for 1 hour.
keep in mind it does not have any effect if your strength is equal or greater than 23.
Yes, but this is the potion. I don't know who gets that. But I've linked you the potion.
Should go to somebody who uses strength as a stat, I guess.
It, for instance, for someone that has 18 strength, it's another +5 strength, and another +2 to their strength score. However, for someone with 8 strength, it suddenly becomes 15 strength points and like 7 strength score. So, depending on the situation, depending on who uses it, this can be massive or it can be solid. But someone has to have it.
I've got it right now.
Yeah.
Write down in
Already.
your inventory,
I have done, yeah.
and then I'll only put it in your journal.
The handout, you mean?
Yes, only Pete has the handout.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at your magical item handouts, you can only see the things that you have. So, Manis has the circlet of blasting.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I do have it.
I know.
You gave it to everyone, the magical, the circlet, and the drift globe.
Yeah, I have the circlet of blasting and the cloak of protection equipped.
Yes, and then
The drift globe is also at Pension.
Benjen has the drift globe, the clockwork amulet, and the potion.
Mm-hmm.
Green, the handy sack is Azam,
Yes.
and
That's
it.
me.
Anyway, so the next item, and I'll just show you that as well for full, is he spends some time with the necklace. He manages to identify it as what is better called a periapt of health. I'll link it to you. It basically makes you immune to contracting a disease. That's it. You cannot be infected by a disease.
Aren't paladins already disease
Yes,
resistant?
paladins are. Yes, this is completely useless on Pete. It would be fucking marvelous on Lancelot before you murdered him.
It would only suppress it.
Keep it. No. Reread it. It makes you immune to catching anything new, but if you already did this disease, it only suppresses it, so it doesn't cure you.
It will just suppress it.
Stop him from being murdered.
Not die.
Would have
He would not die at least.
Yes, it would also have stopped Manus's slow decline
Mm-hmm.
when he was infected.
Manis, do you already have a neck?
I do not have a neck equipped, considering the circlet is helm.
Sweet.
You have to decide who gets that though.
Oh.
Um,
It is already immune.
In
So,
all fairness, it's not exactly very useful for our party, considering we have a paladin that can dispel diseases.
it does. It's very useful, in fact, because it literally just means that you can't be affected by something you don't know happens, and it saves.
While they decide I snatch it from them.
I'm sorry, Virgil. What did you say?
While you are talking, who gets it? I snatch it from you and say, I'm gonna wear it.
Okay, Assam gets it then.
Roll a sleight of hand check for me. Roll. Who had it? It was
Radar.
Bad.
Radar had it because he was identifying it.
So that would probably be a dex check, I think. No, you're not fast enough. He points out, could just ask nicely, not like I need this.
Can I then nicely have it?
Yes, he gives it to you.
Thank you, Radar and guys.
And the final thing is the in many ways, Benjen, the slowest stroke. the little case that Radar got has what can best be described as a wand. It is a wand of magical missiles.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Those of you that are curious, that is what it does.
Oh.
So let me get let me see if I understand right. If you use up to 6 charges per day, you can recharge them during long rest. But if you use the 7th one, that's it.
You roll
It's
a
not after long rest.
you roll a d20 if you spend all charges, and if you roll a 1, it just destroys the wand. If you roll a 2,
Basically,
you get
if you
Mhm.
overcharge it, you risk of losing it.
Not really, because the way I understood it initially, it automatically recharges on a long rest. But as Yuan explained it, and that's better worded as Yuan explained it. Every time you want to recharge, you need to roll a d20. If you roll on that
No,
d20 one,
no.
No, that's only if you use all 7 charges.
Read the description in the handout.
yeah, I'm doing that. The one regains a 1d6 plus 1 expended charges. Okay. Daily
Think of
add-on,
it
okay.
like this.
Basically, you should not spend all the charges unless, if you have to, you risk the item.
If you
And
don't want to gamble on using all 7 charges, you use 6 charges. If you use 6 charges, it's a 66 plus 6 every single day.
Mhm.
So it's like, think of it like this. This might have been an item I put in the game because Radar doesn't have attack spells because of what Jaffa chose. So it's like in case he won the intellect skill challenge, it's a way to make
him.
Radar useful in combat.
Mhm.
Because spoiler alert, after dinner you're done with the tutorial, you know the story. Now the tempo goes up.
Okay.
Yes, it's
N-
1d6 for 1 charge. It's 6 charges, meaning it's 66 plus 6 total.
yeah. It's 1 per expended charges daily.
I didn't get that last one.
It's that expended word that makes the difference. No, that's a 66. That's different.
I think it just regains 1d6 plus 1
Yeah,
of the extended charges daily at dawn.
exactly. Like that last paragraph is only about recharging it.
What do
Yeah,
you...
no, I get that, but like the wand itself at fully charged is capable of spending 66. Oh
As
wait,
damage.
no,
No.
no,
No.
no, no, you're right. Magic missile is completely different. You can, however, choose to do a level 6 magical missile.
Yeah, so you can either use a magical missile 7 times, or you can use magical missiles up to level 7 spell.
level 6?
So it becomes
Yes.
64 plus 6.
Yeah.
That's
He's talking about the damage you can do with the wand.
Mhm.
We are talking about the charges you can regain daily.
anyway. Those are the like the wand is not particularly like game breaking in any way. It's just a way to
No, it is
make
not, but it is really, really cool.
Fine. Yeah, it's pretty good. By the way, Manis, we should use your helmet more often.
I mean, you should also use the amulet of Pete. It's never been used.
I asked like 10 times, what the fuck is the amulet doing?
Pete linked us at some point, but I don't remember it.
Okay. I never
Literally,
had this one.
it guarantees you roll a 10. Once per day, you roll a 10.
Pete, the picture you posted is very small.
It's enough to be able to read it.
Actually, I can actually zoom
But
in.
that's only Pete that can use the amulet, right? You cannot
Yes.
use it for somebody else's roles.
No.
Only Pete has it. If someone else had the amulet, they could use it. But Pete has the amulet, so he can use it. But for Pete, he has a +6 attack bonus. That means that he can choose to roll a 10, add 6, and the attack is a guaranteed 16.
This is useful for against enemies that he knows that he can hit, and he's using the +10 damage thingy.
Also, if he has Bless, for instance, he knows it's at least a +7 or more. So then he could take the minus attack bonus and get like a 12. But like, it depends on how you want to use it. It's just a guaranteed to get off an attack if
Mediocre attack.
it's hittable by 16. At least.
Yep.
Wait,
It's
what?
actually
No. How?
Because the roll becomes a 10, the attack bonuses adds on top of that.
Ah,
So
okay. Yeah.
The dice +6 since he has +6 with a greatsword.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you
Which
know
will
if you know that the 10 will work, you don't need to gamble and maybe get 9. You can just use
in
10.
fact next level Benjamin, it becomes +7 because you get another proficiency bonus, so it becomes a guaranteed hit on a 17.
Or lower.
So that thing will just literally give you a freebie on something that has a AC of less than the total bonus you can provide. It's not a 10 total, it's literally a 10 on the dice. It says so on the item card.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not giving you like super magical swords and shit, but I'm trying to give you like fun things to play around with.
That can be used tactically.
To like,
Pretty neat.
for instance, Manus, he has that thing that makes him have a ranged attack. Pete has something that can guarantee an attack, and then he can smite on top of that. I didn't give anything to, for instance, Assam, but he got something none of you got, so
Which is the
I'm-
bag.
no,
Mm. Mm.
I
Didn't he get a pendant? No, he did.
gave
get a pendant.
him a cantrip he shouldn't have.
Ah, okay.
Because I didn't want to create a weapon just to give him that effect, so I just gave him the cantrip instead. And what I have planned for Lucian, well, you'll just have to wait and see.
Second arm, maybe.
That was just a test roll. I just wanted to see if the blink works.
Okay, Lucian, your arm takes 5 fire damage.
You set the whole house on fire.
In fact, there's 2 more rays as well.
By the way, did you increase Radar's growth?
Yes, I assume that you all filled in 200 gold for you.
We did. I did.
Yes. And I think did it actually? Does it cost weight? No, it doesn't. So we can have as much gold as we want. Nice.
You can set your goal to like 5 million, sure. Doesn't mean I'll let you have 5 million.
No, I meant on the weight part. I mean, it doesn't weigh anything. It's just a sack of gold.
Anyway, should we call it there for the evening? If
No, please. I said a bit earlier on text that there's one more thing I want to rinse over before we go. Are we doing a long rest here?
if you're sleeping
Yes.
here, you know.
Okay.
But I don't want to end the session with you sleeping. I want to end the session before you go to sleep, in case you intend to do something during the night or something like that.
Oh, I agree. I was just thinking about resetting HP and most importantly, if I am allowed to reset my strength back to 18.
No, None of you do that.
Okay, let's do the rest next session.
Actually, all of that can be done next session.
Okay. Well, that was it. Gameplay wise, there's one more thing I would like to discuss with you guys before we head off to sleep. But after we finish the session proper.
Guess the next question is
Next session. When?
next session. I
You
probably
said that he has no work now?
I probably need a week to start building.
Valaki.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, no session before Sunday, or like give me a week at least. I can't do Wednesday.
Okay, so is Sunday the 28th okay for another session?
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in the 28th and come back if we need to modify it. And let's find the backup day, like Monday the 29th. Would this sound good for you guys?
You want
just
this year?
disconnected.
Oh, okay,
He's back.
he's back.
Yeah, you know when there's like a green update ready button on Discord, don't click that.
Don't click it, yeah. So I was asking if the 28th Sunday would be a good day and the 29th, the Monday after it, for as a backup day.
Doesn't matter for me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Perfect.
Mostly up to you.
I'm okay with that. That sounds good for me.